California, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Today we have ourselves quite a show, as we have a lot to get to in the world of Southern California sports, such as the Rams picking up a big win on the road against the Jets. Now can they close out a possible playoff spot this weekend and lock up the NFC West against the Arizona Cardinals? The Chargers are also back in action, as all they just need to do is win and they'll be in. They face the very tough New England Patriots, who aren't so very tough but could be tricky for the Chargers. Also, the Lakers saved Christmas Day as they took down the Golden State Warriors. Who was the hero in this win, and who stepped up as well to aid them? Also, we're going to be taking a look back at all of the memorable Southern California memories in terms of sports. Also, UNC football plays today. This could get ugly, but it could also be something good. They play Texas A&M at the Vegas Bowl in about, let's say, 3.5 hours. All that more here on the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. This is Teran Rodriguez bringing you another edition of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show here on iSports Radio, your feed for all that is sports. And welcome one, welcome all to another edition of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Thank you all for joining me on this beautiful Friday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday evening, Friday wherever you're listening from. Either way, you've made your way in episode 207 of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Without any further delay, let's begin. But first and foremost, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show would not be where it's at without iSports Radio providing the platform to go live on StreamYard. Please do follow iSports Radio on several different social media platforms such as X, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook as well, and also make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We would definitely appreciate it. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of January, and with your help, we can make it happen. Also, make sure to check out our website, iSportsRadio.com, and check us out on other podcast platforms such as iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Podchaser, SoundCloud. The list goes on and on. Like I said, check out our website, iSportsRadio.com, for all of your sports news, our blog, our page dedicated to each podcast, such as the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, our Hall of Fame, where yours truly is a Hall of Fame member, and our merchandise shop. For the last 10 years, iSports Radio has been bringing you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel, to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Thank you to everyone for all of your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that sports. A huge shout out to some of our sponsors. Our first two sponsors we would like to give into are Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and Vital Apparel. So without any further delay, let's get on in to what they are all about.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
That's right, everybody. Definitely check out our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky and Vital Apparel. Those are 2 out of the 3 sponsors for iSports Radio. We'll get into the third one a little later. But on that note, the way you can follow the SoCal Supreme Sports Show on social media is on X, formerly known as Twitter, at SoCal Show IESR. And you can follow me, the host, personally on X as well, at Teran Rodriguez 1. So without any further delay, let's get on into the SoCal sports action. So let's discuss a little NFL, because let's go in chronological order. So the Rams, they had recently had a game because the Chargers already played their game against the Denver Broncos and wound up winning last week. So the Rams were able to take down the Jets 19-9 as they inch ever so close to the playoffs. So before we keep on going, gotta show off a little bit of my Rams gear. Told y'all I needed to get some new Rams drip, but yeah, Rams took down the New York Jets on the road, 19-9, and they're getting ever so close to the playoffs. So they also got another good little Christmas present, which was early, as they saw the Minnesota Vikings take down the Seattle Seahawks 27-24 last week, which was great. Unfortunately, they couldn't get some other help as, the Chicago Bears wound up losing to the freaking Seahawks last night. So unfortunately, the Rams have to, get the job done this week, which sucks, but it is what it is. So yeah, this was kind of a really old school-ish like game. So Jets got off to a little bit of I wouldn't say fast start, but a little bit of a good start. They went up 6-0. Aaron Rodgers found his boy Devontae Adams for the score. And unfortunately for the Jets, the extra point was missed. Kicker problems. So Rams eventually they shook off their slow start. And thankfully for them, they were able to get a touchdown of their own. So good job to the Rams right there. Unfortunately for them, they missed the extra point because, kicker issues. Imagine that. Both teams and their kickers missed the extra point off their first touchdown. So eventually, the Jets got a late field goal. Thankfully, the Rams defense was able to have a goal line stand, before halftime, before fourth down. That was kind of big right there, just because I feel that the Jets were controlling possession, and the Jets had such long possessions. They won that ball, and they were trying to bleed out a lot of clock to the point where the Rams were not going to get the ball back. So that was the strategy of the Jets. It was a good strategy, I'll admit that. That was not a bad strategy by any means, but the Rams eventually were able to turn it around and get that stop right before halftime, held the Jets to 3 points as opposed to 7 points. So suddenly the Rams are only down 9-6. Very manageable. They definitely had a shot. And thankfully for for the Rams, they were able to wake up in the second half. They did start off the scoring with a 38-yard field goal from Josh McCarty. So suddenly it was 9-9, looking good for the Rams, looking a little bit more promising. Defense was what really stepped up in the second half. The second half defense, I thought, was very impressive. They eventually got to Aaron Rodgers on, I think it was the next drive following the field goal, and they forced the fumble, and it was eventually recovered by, I think it was Braden Fisk. Either way, the Rams got the ball, and this was probably the best moment of the game. So Matthew Stafford hit Tyler Higbee for an 11-yard touchdown. Rams got a very short field, and they were working the ball all the way down, and Stafford did find Tyler Higbee for an 11-yard touchdown pass. And what's special about that is that this was actually Tyler Higbee's first game back after suffering that devastating ACL injury in the wild card round last year against the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, very heartwarming story right there. Very amazing moment for Tyler Higbee. So, eventually the Rams went up 16-9. The Rams did do a good job of keeping the Jets away from the goal line, and eventually the Rams did get the ball back. They got a field goal in the fourth quarter. Well, actually, all of the Rams' scoring came in the fourth quarter. Like, the third quarter was very quiet. The Rams did get eventually down late into a field goal range, but eventually they did have to settle on that field goal. Then came the Tyler Higbee touchdown, and then late, about like 5 minutes and change to go, Josh McCarty hit a 45-yard field goal, which eventually gave the Rams a 19-9 lead. So eventually it got down to the 2-minute warning, and the Jets knew they needed a touchdown and a field goal in no particular order. I mean, 2 touchdowns would have been great, but they just needed that regardless. And eventually the Jets did the decision to kick the field goal. Remember, they had 2 timeouts remaining, and they kicked the field goal and they missed it. So yeah, that field goal best described the Rams or the Jets season in a nutshell. So eventually the Rams got the ball back. They didn't do much with it. They eventually punted, and oh man, this might have been the worst thing for the Jets. They muffed the punt, so they got the ball back only to see them muff the punt, and the Rams recovered, and that was that. So, oh god, the Jets had such a horrible year. This is with Aaron Rodgers, mind you. They're going to have a worse record from last year as opposed to this year. Or they're going to have a worse record this year as opposed to last year, where they at least won 7 games. This year they've only won 4 games, and they're not going to be able to equal their win total from last year. So that's tough to molly if you're the Jets. But yeah, Rams wound up winning on the road. A very good road win. I mean, it's never easy to win in MetLife, especially since, I don't know, that field seems to like to injure some key players, but I digress. All right, so the Rams are back in action this Saturday they actually have another primetime game. So they're back to being on primetime as at 5 p.m. Pacific time, they will play the Arizona Cardinals. So the Arizona Cardinals are coming into town. The Cardinals are actually coming off of a loss to the Carolina Panthers, overtime loss to the Carolina Panthers. Now, I kind of am not surprised just because if you saw me on Alden K's show, AZ Sports Zone, you probably heard that the Carolina Panthers always seem to get the better of the Arizona Cardinals. But, yeah, the Cardinals are the next opponent for the Rams, and all the Rams need to do is just win. Now, they need to win, but they also need some other teams to win. And this was quote tweeted by Alden K's personal account. Yeah, I'm going to see if I could try to pull it up right here and now when it comes to X. And yeah, this is probably the most confusing scenario out there. So here it is. So yeah, the Rams need to win, obviously. The Rams need to win, which that would be awesome if they were to do so. Because if they win, then they're pretty much a lock to get into the playoffs. So here's the post from Ian Rappaport. The Rams-Seahawks clinching scenario are very clinching scenario are very complicated. For instance, if Los Angeles beats the Cardinals Saturday, they will clinch the NFC West based on strength of schedule. It needs 3.5 wins from the Bengals, Bills, Browns, Vikings, Commanders, and 49ers. Yeah, so even if the Rams do win, they're not guaranteed to make the playoffs. So they need the Bills play the Jets, which Bills should win barring anything late coming from Josh Allen. The Bengals play the Broncos, which they might win that one. They might not. The Bengals are fighting for their playoff lives. The Browns play the Dolphins, which the Dolphins are fighting for their playoff lives. Vikings play the Packers. That's going to be 50-50. Commanders play the Falcons, which they should win that one unless the Falcons go all out with Michael Penix Jr. And then the 49ers play the Lions, which I don't trust the 49ers just because they straight up stink and they're out of the postseason. Yeah, sorry, not sorry. So in reality, all the Rams need to do is just win. And this is just 3.5 wins, not 3.5 wins from this week. They need 3.5 wins from this week and next week. So even if for some reason the Rams lose to the Seahawks next week, the Rams, if they win tonight, would have the tiebreaker. So this game against the Cardinals is just so important that the Rams need to win this game. If they do, they're all but a lock, and they could just wait and see. Because it won't be a matter of if they get in. It's a matter of who they'll play come postseason time. Because something else that the Rams also got early Christmas was they actually saw the Bucs lose to the Cowboys, and now, thanks to that, the Rams are now the 3 seed in the playoffs, which I kind of have questions for. I mean, I don't necessarily mind the Rams being a 3 seed, but their matchup against the Packers really concerns me because I get it. The Rams were not at full strength when they took on the Packers, but the Packers always seem to give the Rams a fit when it comes to playing them, whether it's in Lambeau Field or at SoFi. So if it were up to me, I would personally want the Rams to play the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs because I think the Vikings are a much better matchup for the Rams. I think the Packers, I mean, Josh Jacobs is such a good running back. I think that would be a matchup nightmare for the Rams, especially since they have such pitiful run defense. And then Sam Darnold, look, and you don't necessarily trust the Vikings in the playoffs because last time they made the postseason was 2 seasons ago. They wound up winning the NFC North, and they wound up losing in the first round to the New York Giants. So I think the Rams would benefit more facing the Vikings in the playoffs as opposed to facing the Packers. But to each his own. Before we get on into the playoffs, the Rams have to win and make the playoffs. So yeah, what do the Rams need to do in order to knock off the Cardinals? Well, for instance, they need to slow down the run game because I think for the Rams, James Conner is going to be a problem, and he is going to play. The Cardinals have a few guys that are questionable on their injured list. The Rams only have like one questionable player on their injured list, which I think is great to see. So thank goodness the Rams don't have to deal with anything injury-wise. But yeah, for the Rams, this is going to be one of the more interesting scenarios. They got to slow down James Conner. Got to keep an eye on Kyler Murray, too. They got to force Kyler to throw the ball just because he does have some good receivers like Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr., even though he has not lived up to expectations. But I think the Rams they can't afford to let the Cardinals get their way in terms of the run game. If there's anything I've learned from watching the Cardinals this year, whether they've taken on the Rams or the Chargers, their run game is pretty deadly, and the Rams do not have a good run game or run defense. So the Rams need to slow the Cardinals down on the ground and force Kyler Murray to throw. And also getting pressure on Kyler Murray would help too, just because Kyler Murray is a good quarterback. But if the Rams could slow down Kyler Murray and like force him into making mistakes, then the Rams should have their way. So I have the Rams winning 28-20. My big concern is for the Rams is that this could be a trap game because the Rams could look ahead to Week 18 and overlook the Cardinals. And also the Rams have a lot to play for, and the pressure's on them because if they lose, Week 18 is basically all or nothing. And the Cardinals don't have anything to play for. They've been eliminated from the playoffs. If they had won last week against Carolina, I think this game would have had a lot of big implications for the NFC West and the playoffs, obviously. But the Rams really have to get it done. They're a much better team than they were in week 2. Remember, they didn't have Puka Nacua. I think Cooper Kupp wasn't at full strength. Like, the Rams' O-line was decimated. They've got most of them back from injury reserve. So the Rams, in my opinion, I think they are definitely – the pressure is on them. They have to win. But I think the Rams can definitely rise to the occasion. They're a much better team from week 2 as opposed to now. So that's that for the Rams. Jumping over to the Chargers. So after 9 days from their amazing Thursday night football win over the Denver Broncos, the Chargers are back in action as they head up east to take on the New England Patriots. So this is the most easiest scenario for the Chargers. Chargers win and they're in. It's so simple. They just have to win. My only concern is for the Chargers, they underestimate the Patriots. Now, the Patriots are not having a good season, but Drake May is still legit. He's getting better by the day, and I think the Patriots have found their franchise quarterback after they let the other one walk out, but I digress. But for the Chargers, they just have to play their game. They have to slow down the run game. Ramondre Stevenson, if you remember last year, Ramondre Stevenson actually was gashing the Chargers' run defense. Now, a lot has changed from the Chargers' run defense. It's now a little bit better than it was the past few seasons. Thanks, Brandon Staley and Anthony Lynn. But I think the Chargers just need to slow down Ramondre Stevenson, and they just got to get to Drake May and force him to make mistakes. And for me, I think the Chargers need to get their run game going. The good news is for the Chargers is that they will get J.K. Dobbins back, and they're going to activate him off IR in time before the Patriots game. It's going to be tough, though, just because, if I recall correctly, I think the Patriots have one of the better run defenses, even though they are bad. But another big thing to watch for is the Patriots to get, for both teams to get pressures on their quarterbacks, because in week 16, the Chargers and Patriots both ranked the second worst and worst in terms of quarterback protection. So, yeah, I get it that the Patriots, they played the Bills, which they're kind of decent in terms of defense, and then the Chargers played the Broncos, which have one of the best defenses. But I want to see the Chargers improve in terms of its offensive line and give Justin Herbert more protection. I also want to see the defense get to Drake May as soon as possible. Just because the Patriots did have the worst pass protection in week 16. So if the Chargers can get pressure on Drake May, then they should have their way against Drake May. But for me, all the Chargers need to do is just play their game. I'm hoping it's not another rainy game like it was last year, because the last time these two teams played was last year, where the Chargers wound up winning in the ugliest of ugly fashion. They wound up winning by a whopping score of 6-0. Yeah, it was that bad. And that was the last win of the Brandon Staley era. After that, he was gone. He got the hook ASAP. As well as Tom Telesco, which I felt more bad for Telesco, but I digress. But yeah, I got the Chargers beating the Patriots 24-13. I think this is going to be another old school game. Like, if the Chargers get off to a maybe not big lead, but if the Chargers get off to a lead in period, then honestly, I think the Chargers can definitely control the clock and make Drake May have to throw it as opposed to going to Ramondre Stevenson. But another thing I want the Chargers to improve on is their third down defense. I think the Chargers have one of the more shoddy third down defenses I've seen in the league. And it's not just against like the Chiefs or any other good team. I think it's all together when it comes to third down, it seems like the Chargers just give up that big first down, whether it's via a screen pass, whether it's via a run, whether it's via a big pass. I don't know. But the Chargers just have one of the more bad third down defenses. But then again, a lot of teams just don't seem to have that it factor when it comes to third down defense like the Chiefs do. But overall, I got the Chargers winning 24-13. Anything short of winning would be a disappointment. I mean, I guess the Chargers can also make the playoffs if the Dolphins lose and then the Colts lose and then the Bengals. The Chargers have the tiebreaker over the Bengals, but yeah, if the Colts and Dolphins lose, then the Chargers are also in, even if the Chargers don't win. But all the Chargers just need to do is win. It's that simple. Win and you're in. Like, please don't mess this up, Chargers. That's all you need to do. So, just all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Just please, 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 Chargers. Don't make this like 2021 or 3 years ago when they freaking lost to the Houston Texans, and then they wound up beating the Broncos, and then they wound up losing to the Raiders in a win and in situation. I don't want a repeat of that. All I just want is for the Chargers to clinch a spot in the playoffs. And then once that happens, then we can get on into who the Chargers could possibly play, because the Steelers have lost 3 straight, and hopefully, for the Chargers' sake, they could win out, and then the Bengals can beat the Steelers next week, and then the Chargers would get the 5 seed. And if that were to happen, they would avoid playing the Baltimore Ravens, most likely, and they play the Houston Texans, which have kind of been a little bit of a free fall. But right now, the Chargers just need to make the playoffs. Just get into the postseason, Chargers. Please. That's all I ask for you to do. All right. Anyway, so Ralph Calise popped into the chat room. He says, good evening, Teran. Happy New Year to you and the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Have a great show. Thank you, Ralph. Ralph will be going on later today at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern for his show, The Yins Report, which that's actually going to be his 50th episode. So what a way to close out the year with a 50th episode special. And I can't wait to see the 50th episode of The Yins Report. Definitely do check out Ralph Calise and The Yins Report. He does an excellent job with his show. And I definitely appreciate your support when it comes to my shows, Ralph. It really does mean a lot. So that's going to do it for the Chargers and Rams portion of the show. We're going to take ourselves another little bit of a sponsor break. Let us get on into our other sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. Let's also talk to y'all what iSports Radio is all about. So without any further delay, let's get on into it. We'll be right back after this. You are listening to the SoCal Supreme Sports Show here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Back with segment number 2 of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Definitely check out our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B, and Vital Apparel. And also check out our website, isportsradio.com, for all of your latest sports news, blog, and page dedicated to each podcast, such as the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. And check me out in the Hall of Fame. I am Hall of Fame inductee number 10. And I'm honored to be a member of the Hall of Fame. So let's get on into the second segment of our show. So let us talk some USC football. So USC football, after having a little bit of a week off from being stressed out from USC football, we have to see them play. We have to see USC play in their bowl game against Texas A&M. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. So all the bowl games have been pretty darn good, if you ask me. I don't think we've gotten too many blowouts, which is more than I could say for the college football playoff. But I will say for USC, they've kind of got their work cut out for them because most of their players are in the transferred. I'm not kidding you. Most of their players have transferred, and their top receivers have transferred, like Zachariah Branch. Oh, God, that hurt. And Deuce Robinson. Oh, gosh. Yeah, like, who is, like, I'm going to be, like, Jaden Mayava, I imagine, is going to be the quarterback because Miller Moss is transferred. But who is Jaden Mayava going to throw the ball to? Casper the Ghost? I'm just saying. But, yeah, this is going to be one tough matchup. But I'm confident in USC. For some weird reason, this is the type of game that USC tends to win as opposed to tends to lose. So I don't know how, I don't know why, but I feel the USC Trojans are going to find a way to win. They started their season off with a win in Las Vegas, and I'm hoping they end their season with a win in Las Vegas. I don't know how they're going to do it. And Texas A&M is obviously tough because they play in the ever so tough SEC. The SEC. Why do I think they played in the Big 12? I digress. But yeah, I got USC beating Texas A&M 35-31. It's not going to be easy though. I mean, this one's going to be high scoring. Let's keep it a buck. If anything, maybe A&M and USC play to a low scoring affair. But yeah, USC is going to need to pull out all the stops. And one player who I think will definitely have to make an impact is Makai Lemon. Makai Lemon, I hope Makai Lemon, first and foremost, plays both ways because he is a really darn good two-way player. Lincoln Riley, just let Makai Lemon play as a two-way player. Let him be the next Travis Hunter. Like, I don't care what it takes. Just let him do his thing. Let Makai cook. Like, don't be so arrogant. Because if you let Makai Lemon walk out the door and transfer, I swear to all that is holy, Lincoln Riley, you will be feeling my wrath. But I'm already mad that a lot of these players have transferred. Like, I like Zachariah Branch. And Deuce Robinson, he never really got a chance to prove himself. And the dude's already gone. It sucks. Like, who is USC going to be? Who does USC have in terms of receivers outside of Makai Lemon? You know what? I'm not even going to answer that. I'm just going to say USC is going to find a way to win. And Jade Mayava, I hope this dude is going to be ready, is going to be staying for the long haul. Because I actually think this is because I think there could be someone out to take his job, and that could be Hussein Longstreet, which, ironically enough, he actually initially committed to Texas A&M, and then he decommitted and then flipped his commitment to USC, which I think is pretty funny. So this is technically the Hussein Longstreet Bowl. So I hope for USC's sake they can get the job done. I just want to see some sort of win when it comes to USC. Like, let's put a cap on this game and make it a happy ending. No more of this losing crap. I'm tired of this team losing. I'm tired of this team being hot garbage. Prepare for next year. Everyone that says this is a meaningless bowl game or playing in a bowl game that's not the Rose Bowl or anything of that sort, you're stupid. That's all I got to tell you. This is definitely a meaningful game. And more importantly, this is, if you've seen all the games, like if you saw I think it was the Toledo, was it Toledo? I think it was San Jose State's bowl game. Their opponent, they were all emotional and whatnot in the Hawaii Bowl. If you saw the Hawaii Bowl, the team that beat San Jose State, they're all emotional and hugging one another. That's all proof that you need, because who cares if it's not the Rose Bowl or the Cotton Bowl or anything of that sort, or the Sun Bowl or anything of that. Like, a bowl game is a bowl game. You get rewarded for your success, for being 500 or better. That's all there is to it. So anyone that says bowl games are a waste of time, you're stupid. You don't know ball, and you can just not watch. You can go watch the blowouts that's happening in the college football playoff. There you go. But yeah, I got USC beating Texas A&M 35-31, and I have no regrets picking USC. I think they get the job done somehow, some way. All right, but that is that for some college football. So let's jump to some NBA. The Lakers did manage to make me smile on Christmas Day, as they managed to beat the Golden State Warriors 115-113. Austin Reeves became the hero, as he had the game-winning layup, which gave the Lakers the win. So, this was kind of a bittersweet win. So it's great that the Lakers won, but in the first quarter, they lost Anthony Davis to an ankle injury. And yeah, when he went down with an ankle injury, everyone was thinking, okay, he's going to pop back up and play through it. But nope. Anthony Davis was hurt, and he was ruled questionable going into halftime, and then he was ruled out going into the second half. So, yeah, that was tough tamale when it came to the Lakers losing AD. And they really could have used him, because the Warriors were just playing small ball, where the Lakers with AD, they'd be living large. Like, it got to the point where I forget his name. I think it was Christian Coloco. He's a guy from the University of Arizona. He's pretty darn good, if you ask me. But he had to play some minutes at the 5 for the Lakers. But in this game, this seemed to kind of be a little bit like the Lakers were down at one point, and then they came back to take the lead. They eventually were up 6 after 3 quarters. And suddenly the Lakers were up 9 with about less than 3 minutes to go, or something of that sort. But then the Warriors, my brother was telling me, okay, this game is over. I was saying no. Until the clocks hit 0, it's never over when you're facing Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And that was the case. The Warriors went on a little bit of a run, and I think it was like a 7-0 run. And then the Lakers eventually got their lead cut down to 2, brought it back up to 4. And then Steph Curry made like the most craziest catch and shoot 3-pointer, which cut the Lakers lead down to 1. Then Austin Reeves made 2 free throws. And then the Lakers left the one guy open that they should not have left open, Steph Curry. And it was a long 3. It was like a deep 3-pointer. It's what we call Steph Curry range. And Steph Curry made his Steph Curry range 3-pointer. And suddenly the game was tied. And I'm like, oh, God, Lakers really are going to choke this one away. Thankfully not, because the Lakers had 1 timeout remaining. They advanced the ball, and then Austin Reeves just drove to the hoop instead of and this was so smart by him. He didn't just jack up a shot and hope that it went in. He was smart. He drove by Andrew Wiggins, kissed it off the glass, and he made the layup. Warriors had no timeout, so they needed a half-court heave from, I think 75 feet out, and Steph Curry missed that, though it looked closer than expected. Had that happened, then all of Golden State in, I forget the arena that the Lakers played in. It's formerly known as Oracle Arena, Chase Center. But the Lakers would have probably went home wondering how the heck did we lose this one. But thankfully, the Lakers were able to win. Austin Reeves was him. I was basically calling him USA Austin Reeves, USA national team Austin Reeves. Though he didn't lead the Lakers in points. That was LeBron James who did that honor. He had 31 points. He also had 4 rebounds and 10 assists. Austin Reeves had a triple-double. He had 26 points, 10 boards, and 10 assists, which I thought were pretty amazing. I thought that was pretty amazing. Rui Hachimura had 18 points. Max Christie had 16 points. They also got 13 points from Dalton Connect. And then they got some good points from Cam Reddish. He was actually a +3, believe it or not, in the plus-minus category. And surprisingly enough, Austin Reeves was a -4, even though he had a triple-double. But honestly, what matters most is that the Lakers got the win. And it helps that the Lakers were able to win, even though they didn't have Anthony Davis for a nice chunk of the game. They also didn't have D'Angelo Russell, who was out with a thumb injury. So, yeah. As for the Warriors, Steph Curry led the way with 38 points and whatnot. So, all in all, it was an entertaining NBA game. And this was the best NBA game on Christmas Day. So, good job to the Lakers on picking up that win. And great job to the NBA for having 4 out of 5 amazing games. Because, I mean, if I had to rank them, I'd probably put Lakers Warriors at number 1, Spurs Knicks at number 2, then Sixers Celtics at number 3. 4 would probably be Timberwolves Mavericks, even though the Timberwolves were up by as many as 20 plus, and the Mavericks just were able to get the lead down to single digits, but fell short. And then the 5th rank would probably be Suns versus Nuggets. But yeah, the Lakers are back in action tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow against the Sacramento Kings at home. So Lakers have a chance to do probably the unthinkable. Sweep a team after they swept them last year. So the interesting thing about the Kings is that they just recently fired their head coach, Mike Brown. So yeah, Lakers will be playing a team that has an interim head coach. So I don't want to hear the excuses from the Lakers. Maybe they won't have Anthony Davis, which would really suck. But honestly, I don't want to hear the excuses. I know the Kings have some stud players on their team, but honestly, I want to see the Lakers get her done. Yeah, and also it's all, yeah, and I will also just say this is where the Lakers miss having Jackson Hayes and whatnot. So unfortunately, he's out, but it is what it is. So Lakers that's pretty much that for the Lakers. And then the Clippers, they didn't play on Christmas Day because no one cares about them. I'm just kidding. But they did beat the Memphis Grizzlies most recently. They took them down 114-110. This was after they lost 113-97 to the Dallas Mavericks, which that was the second of a back-to-back on the road. Well, actually, yeah, second of a back-to-back on the road, still in Dallas. So I thought for the Mavs, that was kind of a little bit of a heat check game, though I think that might have cost them Luka Doncic. Anyway, the Clippers beating the Grizzlies was pretty darn good just because the Clippers, it's a road game, first and foremost. And second of all, the Grizzlies are a very good team. So Clippers are back in action tonight when they host the Golden State Warriors. It's going to be an interesting game. It might be the Warriors get-back game, but honestly, the Warriors don't have too much. They just look so off without Klay Thompson. But it is what it is and whatnot, and there you have it when it comes to the Clippers. So, yeah, that's going to do it for the Clippers portion of the show. We'll take ourselves one last little commercial break. When we come back, we will go over the Dum Dum of the Week and Dum Dum of the Year, and then we'll also recap some of the, oh God, of course the glitch would happen right as soon as I was about to go to a commercial break. But as I was saying, we'll go over Dum Dum of the Week and Dum Dum of the Year, and then we'll also recap some of the more memorable Southern California sports memories in 2024. We've got quite a bit, so keep it locked here. You're listening to the SoCal Supreme Sports Show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, everybody? This is Teran Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Galise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold, have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Galise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
And we are back with the final segment of the year of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Definitely check out our amazing shows, especially the Injury Report, which actually will be coming up momentarily right after this show at the top of the hour. But yeah, let's get on into the final part of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show of the year, and then I will send you all on your way. So we're going to actually make this a little bit shorter of a show just because we're going to actually we got to give out the Dum Dum of the Week, Dum Dum of the Year, and we have to reminisce on some of the most memorable sporting moments from Southern California. But I actually do want to take this moment to acknowledge and remember Greg Gumbel, who actually just passed away today. So this was very sad news. So in case you don't know who Greg Gumbel is, he was an American sports broadcaster. He did play-by-play for the NFL. He did play-by-play he was basically on CBS. He did a lot of great things. He did March Madness. He did play-by-play for the NFL and for the CBS. He called a couple of Super Bowl games, which I thought was pretty cool. And he was just an overall amazing guy. And this was so sad news to get today. So I want to basically take a moment of silence to remember Greg Gumbel for all that he did. So join me in a moment of silence for Greg Gumbel. Thank you. May he rest in everlasting peace as he'll be calling an amazing game up in heaven. Say hi to all the greats for us. All right, but now let's get on into Dum Dum of the Week. So I actually have quite a bit of Dum Dums of the Week to go over. So first and foremost, I actually got to give Dum Dum of the Week to myself because if you all saw the show, the intro didn't really go as planned. The intro theme to this show wasn't loaded, and then I foolishly hit go live thinking that it was already there, whereas I didn't really check. So, oops. That's why you probably saw like a minute delay, and you probably saw a minute of my background, which is obviously a cool background. It's a nice little background. So I'm sorry to everybody that saw a blank background. I didn't mean to. I should have double checked if my theme song was there. So please forgive me. Don't make this like mistake define me and whatnot. So yeah. So I take home the Dum Dum of the Week for this week just because I forgot to check if my intro was there, and then you all got to see a minute of a blank screen, which looked a little something like this. And now I'm back. Yeah. So I'll give myself Dum of the Week. I should have been a little bit more cautious. I should have double checked everything, but I digress. All right. So second Dum Dum of the Week. All right. So I actually got to give out the mini Dum Dum of the Week. I got to give it to the mini Dum Dum of the Week goes to the Arizona Cardinals just because had they beaten the Carolina Panthers, they would have made the Rams-Cardinals game a lot more fascinating and interesting, and maybe even flexed it to Sunday Night Football. But unfortunately, the Cardinals are incompetent, and they've just been a little disappointing. I thought they would be a lot better than this. They had the division lead, and then they screwed the pooch, and I feel bad for the Cardinals, except I don't. The Cardinals straight up laid a goose egg, and now they have nothing to play for, which could give them the edge just because they won't have as much pressure to play for, even though players and coaches are playing for their job. But still, you had a chance to make this game really fascinating and interesting, which could have had a lot on the line, and you could have still won the division. But no, you decided to lose when it mattered most to a Panthers team who was questioning on if Bryce Young was really the answer. So Arizona Cardinals get the mini Dum Dum of the Week. But I still have two more Dum Dums of the Week to go over. And this one, remember when I was talking about the Chicago Bears and how they couldn't beat the Seahawks, which prevented the Rams from possibly clinching the division? Sorry if my nose is scratchy and whatnot, but itchy and whatnot. But yeah, that game was so ugly. I think we all needed to bleach our eyes after seeing that. It was the most Thursday night football game we've ever seen. The game ended in a 6-3 win with the Seahawks beating the Bears. It was so bad. I know it was raining. I get it. It was raining, but still, it was offensive ineptitude to the max. Remember when we all thought that the Rams-Niners Thursday night football game was bad? Seahawks and Bears just said, hey, hold our beers, will ya? And this was a week after we had an amazing Thursday night football game between the Chargers and the Broncos, but the Bears and Seahawks decided to one-up it in the worst way. So, Seahawks, Bears, you make me sick. The Bears, I also kind of got to give Dum Dum of the Week to because they literally are the most on-paper team out there. They had Caleb Williams. They brought in Keenan Allen. They drafted Rome Dunze. Everything was going great for them. Everyone was thinking Bears are going to be such a good team this season. They have They have like 4 wins, and one of which was against the Rams, who was not at full strength. So Bears, you continue to disappoint. So you especially get Dum Dum of the Week between you and the Seahawks. And then the last Dum Dum of the Week. Oh boy, I can't believe I missed this, but according to the NBA, not the NBA, the NFL, apparently Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, the co-owner of the New York Jets. Oh man, this dude, I can't believe what this man did. So the owner of the New York Jets, this dude straight up didn't want to trade for Jerry Jeudy. Now, Jerry Jeudy was a fantastic player on the Denver Broncos. He eventually got traded to the Cleveland Browns, where he actually managed to do some good there and is still doing good there. But Apparently, Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets or co-owner of the Jets, didn't want to trade for Jerry Jeudy because Jerry Jeudy's Madden rating is too low. I'm not kidding you. Woody Johnson decided not to trade for Jerry Jeudy because his Madden rating was too low. Yeah, you can't make this up. This is why the Jets are so bad. This is why the Jets haven't been to the playoffs in 14 years. 14. Because of decisions like this. And now we wonder why the Jets are such a laughingstock. No, this is why everyone doesn't take the Jets seriously, no matter who they have on their team. They had star power last year and the previous year. They have done nothing. Nothing. This team might be cursed to an extent. They might be more cursed than the Chargers are. They might be more cursed than San Diego. The Jets are just an accident waiting to happen. We talk about the Cowboys being an accident waiting to happen, but what about the Jets? The Jets are just so dang incompetent, it's not even funny. Like, I'm so glad the Rams didn't lose to that Jets team. I'm sorry, but Woody Johnson's Dum Dum of the Week. And you know what? We might as well give Dum Dum of the Year to freaking the Jets. The Jets Jets. Because how do you still have that much star power and you still suck? You couldn't even beat the Patriots. And now I wonder how this team beat the Houston Texans. Well, don't answer that. The Texans didn't have Stephon Diggs, but yeah, the Jets get dumb. The Jets get Dum Dum of the Week, or Woody Johnson gets Dum Dum of the Week, and the Jets get Dum Dum of the Year. I can't defend the Jets. This isn't defendable. Like, you have all this talent on your team. You have Aaron Rodgers, who might go down as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, and you still couldn't make the playoffs. Matter of fact, you did worse from last year. Just let that sink in for you, ladies and gentlemen. The Jets are just a problem waiting to be solved. Except they can never be solved. Matter of fact, they even brought in Aaron Rodgers' boy, Devontae Adams, only to see them still underachieve. So the Jets are just so dysfunctional, disorganized. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets took another step back. Like, who are they going to draft next year? Hingle McCringleberry? It's still probably not going to be the same because they're probably going to waste away another draft pick like they did with Garrett Wilson and whatnot. So I'm sorry, but Jets are Dum Dum of the Year. I was going to give the honor to like maybe USC football, but at least they know how to win. That's when you know the Jets suck. USC football has more wins than the Jets this season with Aaron Rodgers and with most of their star talent. There you go. Jets are Dum Dum of the Year. If anyone has any other Dum Dums of the Year that they'd like to throw out, other than me, of course, just let me know. But the Jets, in my opinion, are the New York Jets Jets are Dum Dum of the Year. They deserve Dum Dum of the Year, and nothing is going to change unless they actually have better ownership and better everything. Like, it's bad to the point where Aaron Rodgers got another coach fired. They got Robert Saleh fired. If he wants to, maybe he can come to the Rams and maybe he can, I don't know, maybe win some more Super Bowls? I don't know. Food for thought. But yeah, that's going to do it for Dum Dum of the Year, Dum Dum of the Week and Dum Dum of the Year. So before we get on out of here, we got to close off the show with something more positive because this is the end of the year and I won't be back with another show until next year. So some of the most memorable sports moments from Southern California in 2024. So the first one that comes to mind is the Dodgers winning the World Series. So after hearing it from practically everybody saying, oh, the Dodgers haven't won an actual ring or an actual championship, blah, 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 blah. The Dodgers finally silenced the heretics and they win the World Series in a full season. So thank goodness the Dodgers were able to do that. They even took down those pesky Yankees, the pesky New York Yankees, in the World Series in 5 games. The only game that they lost was a bullpen game, which was kind of inevitable, if you ask me. I only wish I would have been a little bit more better just because I had pneumonia at the time, but I digress. But yeah, Dodgers winning the World Series was an absolute memorable moment from memorable sports moment in Southern California from 2024. Another memorable sports moment was the LA Galaxy winning the MLS Cup, which it's not so much they won the MLS Cup, but it was how they won it. Because last year they were one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst team, and heck, even blogs on ESPN called the Galaxy an unserious soccer team. And that's how you know this team was bad. They were bad, dude. But thankfully for the Galaxy, they got rid of Chris Klein. They pretty much got everything together, and they got all the players to buy into the new GM and the manager and whatnot. So eventually the Galaxy went from being the worst team in the league to now being the best team in the league. Well, second best team in the West, behind LAFC, which wound up fumbling the bag in the playoffs. But I think for the Galaxy, their story of how they went from worst to first is amazing. And I think this would have been for a great story altogether, and hopefully someone has done it. So I think for the Galaxy, them winning the MLS Cup and having a massive turnaround from the previous year deserves a lot of recognition, just because, and that right there is another memorable sports moment in Southern California from 2024. I guess another memorable sports moment from Southern California was probably San Diego State men's basketball making the Sweet 16, even though they lost to the eventual champion UConn again. What's another memorable sports moment from Southern California? I mean, the Lakers made the playoffs, and so did the Clippers, then the Rams too, and the Kings too. But they kind of they were all one and done, which I think is pretty funny. And Chargers didn't even make the playoffs. But speaking of those Chargers, another memorable sports moment from Southern California in 2024, the Chargers hired Jim Harbaugh. That was a big one. Most people were thinking, it's not going to happen. The Chargers might want to go for Pete Carroll or Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel. No, they brought in Jim Harbaugh, which I thought was pretty cool if you asked me. And some were thinking that it could happen. Some were thinking it wasn't going to happen. But when it was official, I was just in awe because Harbaugh actually wanted to go to the Chicago Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders. But thankfully for us Chargers fans, yes, me being one, even though I'm wearing a Rams shirt, the Chargers managed to nab Jim Harbaugh, which I thought was pretty amazing. And also the Chargers managed to clean house as well. They got Joe Ortiz as their new GM. They got Jesse Minter as their defensive coordinator. Greg Roman as their offensive coordinator, which hasn't been bad. Not really. I mean, it's been questionable, but I think it's still solid. Beats having the previous one that was the most milquetoast offense with like dink and dunks and whatnot. So, yeah, Joe Lombardi. At least it's better. Greg Roman at least is better than Joe Lombardi. I'm just going to say it right there. But yeah, the Chargers hiring Jim Harbaugh, fresh off of a national championship from Michigan, and basically cleaning house and getting everything right. That was another memorable sports moment from Southern California. I guess for the collegiate level, you have UCLA men's volleyball repeating as national champions in men's volleyball, and then them winning the national championship in men's water polo, which I think was pretty cool. You had USC women's basketball making all the way to the Elite Eight, which hasn't been done in a hot minute, as well as the rise of Juju Watkins, which I do need to apologize to everybody. I picked USC to lose to UConn, but they beat UConn 72-70, which had a lot of questionable calls late in the game, but USC got the job done, and USC women's basketball fans have a lot to cheer for when it comes to the women of Troy. So that was another memorable moment right there, the rise of USC women's hoops. Trying to think of some other, and then I guess Shohei Ohtani going to the Dodgers. That was another memorable moment, which entails to the Dodgers winning the World Series, where they had all that star power. And I basically was calling them out on it. I basically saying if the Dodgers don't win the World Series with all that star power, they're getting Dum Dum of the Week and Dum Dum of the Year. But thankfully, the Dodgers held true to their promise, and thankfully for the Dodgers, they managed to get some. They managed to win the hardware. They managed to win the Fall Classic. So, yeah. And then I guess the Padres making the playoffs also was memorable. They eventually got to play the Dodgers in the divisional round. Yeah, the divisional round, where they just fell short to said Dodgers team in 5 games. But it was a fantastic series, and seeing the Padres lose kind of hurt just because whether it was the Dodgers or the Padres, me seeing one team miss out on the NLCS was just going to be a kick in the teeth. So the Padres just having a massive turnaround where they were barely 500 all the way to being 500 and getting a chance at possibly knocking off the eventual world champions was another memorable moment. The Lakers drafting Bronny James, I guess, was a memorable moment, even though Bronny hasn't done much when it comes to the Lakers, but I digress. There's got to be other sports moments from Southern California. I mean, USC beach volleyball winning its 4th straight national championship, which, as Courtney Lyle would say, can you say dynasty? Yeah, and that USC in beach volleyball is a legit dynasty. There's no better way of saying that. But yeah, USC beach volleyball winning, and it wasn't just winning it. Period. They wound up winning it with Delaney Maple and Megan Kraft, who are both going to be amazing beach volleyball players. Well, I'm not so sure about Delaney Maple. Maple, I'm not sure if she's going to be playing pro beach volleyball because she just played indoor volleyball at Indiana. I know Megan Kraft is killing it in terms of the pro beach volleyball scene with Therese Cannon, another former USC beach volleyball standout. But yeah, USC beach volleyball winning its 4th straight national championship, amazing. And I wonder if they have if they have a good shot at going for championship number 5 or not championship number 5. It's 5th straight championship and 8th overall. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping that USC beach volleyball, for their sake, can continue their winning ways. So obviously, UCLA is going to be someone to watch for. LSU probably is going to be someone to watch for. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, they had a fantastic season. They managed to win their way to the national semifinals, which was their best finish in a hot minute. And they even knocked off TCU, which also had a talented year too. So yeah, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo being on the rise in beach volleyball, that was another amazing moment in Southern California sports in 2024. Well, hopefully for the sake of the Rams tomorrow, they clinch the NFC West, and hopefully for the Chargers' sake, they clinch a spot in the playoffs, even though it would still count for 2024, but we'll see. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I think I pretty much covered all that needs to be covered in terms of Southern California sports and its memorable moments in 2024. If I am missing any, just do let me know. I don't want to include USC football. I mean, I was going to say USC football beating Louisville in the San Diego Bowl or the Holiday Bowl. It was a memorable moment, but that was last year. But yeah, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show for the last time this year. Until next year, everybody, for everyone here at IE Sports Radio, this is Teran Rodriguez signing off. Have yourself an amazing new year. Be safe. Please don't be an idiot. Do not drink and drive. You could afford a DUI you could afford an Uber or a taxi or Lyft or anything of that sort before you could afford a DUI or your life. Just please don't be stupid. Be safe. Be well. Take care of one another. Have yourself an amazing new year. Just be safe and just be happy. Be with your loved ones. And I will see you next year. There should be a show next year, but it's probably going to be early. I think we're going to have the show at, let's say, 1 p.m., probably noon Pacific time, because I don't know if some of y'all know this. I actually will be going out of town, but I still plan to do Set Point in SoCal along with 3 and Out College Edition. So we'll see what happens. But until then, for now, let's plan on noon Pacific time next Friday. But until then, have a great weekend. Enjoy the new year. And I will see you all on Monday for the last episode of the year of Set Point. Have a great rest of the weekend. And remember, SoCal is for SoCal. Peace. Happy New Year.